It is time to go forth.
The space race is no longer just between nations.
Starfaring civilization.
This is a very different kind of space colony.
It's the battle of the billionaires.
It's now a battle between billionaires. Elon Musk's SpaceX.
We won a new space race. Races were exciting.
Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin.
It's time to go back to the moon, this time to stay.
And Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic have dominated headlines in recent years. But now a new contender has entered the ring. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt. Schmidt, known for transforming Google into a tech powerhouse, has set his sights on space through his investment in Relativity Space, a company pioneering 3D printed rockets. With bold ambitions and cutting-edge technology, Schmidt and Relativity Space are looking to challenge the dominance of SpaceX and Blue Origin. But can they actually compete? With Musk's reusable rockets and Bezos' deep pockets, the private space industry is more competitive than ever. Schmidt may have the expertise in tech, but will that be enough to succeed in an industry that has already claimed many failures? Eric Schmidt and Relativity Space, a game changer? Eric Schmidt is no stranger to innovation. As Google's CEO from 2001 to 2011, he played a crucial role in transforming the company into a global tech giant. Now, he's turning his attention to space by backing Relativity Space, a startup that aims to revolutionize rocket manufacturing with 3D printing.
So what inspired me to start Relativity? So I was building my career at Blue Origin, where I was a rocket propulsion engineer.
Relativity Space, founded in 2015 by former SpaceX and Blue Origin engineers, is taking a radically different approach to building rockets.
As you mentioned, Relativity is 3D printing an entire rocket. So we've actually built not just our own launch vehicle to launch satellites to orbit, but also our own 3D printers, which are by far the largest in the world.
Instead of relying on traditional manufacturing, which can take years, the company uses massive 3D printers to construct nearly entire rockets in a matter of weeks. This process not only reduces costs, but also increases flexibility, allowing for rapid design changes and improvements. Schmidt has joined as a key investor and advisor, bringing both financial backing and strategic leadership. His experience in AI and automation aligns perfectly with Relativity Space's vision of streamlining rocket production through machine learning and robotics. The company's flagship rocket, Terran R, is designed to be fully reusable, competing directly with SpaceX's Falcon 9. Relativity Space has already secured major contracts, including deals with NASA and commercial satellite providers. However, breaking into the space industry is no easy feat. While Schmidt's involvement brings credibility and resources, the company still has to prove that its 3D printing technology can match the reliability and performance of traditional rocket manufacturing. With its first major orbital test flights expected soon, Relativity Space is at a critical turning point. If successful, it could disrupt the industry in ways never seen before. But with Musk and Bezos already years ahead in development, does Schmidt's company stand a real chance? How Relativity Space stacks up against SpaceX and Blue Origin. The private space race is heating up, but how does Relativity Space compare to the giants of the industry, SpaceX and Blue Origin? While all three companies share a common goal of pushing the boundaries of space travel, their approaches, technologies, and business strategies are vastly different. Technology, 3D printing versus reusability versus space tourism. Relativity Space stands out with its cutting-edge 3D printed rockets, a manufacturing method that drastically reduces costs and production time. Their upcoming Terran R rocket is designed to be reusable, putting it in direct competition with SpaceX's Falcon 9, which has already proven the cost-saving potential of reusability. SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, remains the industry leader with a proven track record of launching rockets, resupplying the International Space Station, and even sending humans into orbit. Their Starship vehicle aims to take humans to Mars, a goal that currently seems far beyond Relativity Space's immediate capabilities. On the other hand, Blue Origin, founded by Jeff Bezos, has taken a slower, more methodical approach. Their New Shepard suborbital rocket has successfully taken tourists to space, while their upcoming New Glenn rocket is expected to compete with SpaceX for satellite launches. However, unlike SpaceX, Blue Origin has yet to send astronauts into orbit. Financial backing. Can Schmidt keep up? One of the biggest advantages that SpaceX and Blue Origin have is funding. SpaceX has generated billions through NASA contracts, government deals, and private investments. Musk's other companies like Tesla and Starlink provide additional revenue streams. Meanwhile, Blue Origin is funded almost entirely by Jeff Bezos' personal fortune, with the Amazon founder pouring in billions every year. This gives the company the ability to work on long-term projects without worrying about immediate profitability. Relativity Space, while innovative, doesn't have the same level of financial security. Eric Schmidt's backing provides a major boost, but it's unclear whether Relativity can sustain the enormous costs of space exploration in the long run. Mission goals. What sets Relativity apart? While SpaceX focuses on interplanetary travel and Blue Origin works on space tourism and lunar missions, Relativity Space is taking a different approach. By revolutionizing rocket production, the company aims to make spaceflight more affordable and scalable. If Relativity Space can prove that 3D printed rockets are the future, it could force even Musk and Bezos to rethink their strategies. But with SpaceX and Blue Origin years ahead in launches and infrastructure, catching up will be a daunting challenge. Challenges ahead. Can Schmidt compete? Despite its innovative approach, Relativity Space faces an uphill battle in competing with SpaceX and Blue Origin. While 3D printed rockets could disrupt traditional manufacturing, the space industry is notoriously difficult, and even the best-funded companies have struggled to achieve consistent success. Technical and engineering hurdles. While 3D printing allows for faster and cheaper rocket production, it's still a relatively unproven method at scale. SpaceX and Blue Origin have spent years refining their rocket designs through trial and error. Relativity Space, on the other hand, is still in its early testing phase. The question remains, can 3D printed rockets withstand the extreme conditions of space travel as reliably as traditionally built rockets? Additionally, achieving full reusability is a major challenge. SpaceX took years to perfect the technology needed to land and reuse Falcon 9 rockets. If Relativity Space wants to compete, it must prove that its Terran R rocket can not only launch successfully but also land and be reused, something even Blue Origin has struggled to achieve at an orbital level. Market competition and funding limitations. Even if Relativity Space proves its technology works, breaking into the space industry is no easy feat. NASA, satellite companies, and private space agencies already have long-term contracts with SpaceX and Blue Origin. Convincing customers to switch to an unproven company will be difficult. Funding is another major concern. Unlike Musk and Bezos, who have deep pockets and other businesses to fund their space ambitions, Relativity Space must rely on investors like Eric Schmidt. If early tests fail or the company runs into production delays, it could struggle to stay financially viable. With all these challenges, Schmidt's leadership will be tested like never before. Will his tech expertise be enough to navigate the brutal space industry? Challenges ahead. Can Schmidt compete? Despite its innovative approach, Relativity Space faces an uphill battle in competing with SpaceX and Blue Origin. While 3D printed rockets could disrupt traditional manufacturing, the space industry is notoriously difficult, and even the best-funded companies have struggled to achieve consistent success. Technical and engineering hurdles. While 3D printing allows for faster and cheaper rocket production, it's still a relatively unproven method at scale. SpaceX and Blue Origin have spent years refining their rocket designs through trial and error. Relativity Space, on the other hand, is still in its early testing phase. The question remains, can 3D printed rockets withstand the extreme conditions of space travel as reliably as traditionally built rockets? Additionally, achieving full reusability is a major challenge. SpaceX took years to perfect the technology needed to land and reuse Falcon 9 rockets. If Relativity Space wants to compete, it must prove that its Terran R rocket can not only launch successfully but also land and be reused, something even Blue Origin has struggled to achieve at an orbital level. Funding limitations and competitive pressure. Even if Relativity Space proves its technology works, breaking into the space industry is no easy feat. NASA, satellite companies, and private space agencies already have long-term contracts with SpaceX and Blue Origin. Convincing customers to switch to an unproven company will be difficult. Another major factor is funding. SpaceX has billions from NASA and government contracts, while Blue Origin benefits from Jeff Bezos' personal fortune. Relativity Space, while supported by Schmidt's leadership, still needs to scale quickly and secure steady revenue streams. Without major contracts or consistent launches, maintaining momentum in an industry with sky-high costs will be a serious challenge. Schmidt's leadership could be the key to overcoming these barriers, but the road ahead is anything but easy. Game changer or just another challenger, the space race is no longer just about rockets. It's about who will shape the future of humanity beyond Earth. With Eric Schmidt now leading Relativity Space, the question isn't just whether they can compete with SpaceX and Blue Origin, but whether they can change the game entirely. If 3D printed rockets become the norm, will SpaceX and Blue Origin be forced to rethink their entire approach? Could Schmidt's expertise in AI and automation push space technology into a new era, where building and launching rockets is as streamlined as manufacturing manufacturing cars? Or will the challenges of spaceflight prove too much, leaving relativity space struggling to catch up? One thing is certain, the private space race is evolving, and Schmidt's entrance means the fight for dominance is far from over. The only question is, will he be the next great space pioneer, or just another name in the history books?